The sun dips below the horizon, casting a golden glow across our living room. Lisa, my wife, is out, as usual, her work demanding more from her than our marriage seems to. I'm seated on our beige couch, a glass of scotch in hand, the ice clinking softly as I swirl the liquid, contemplating the silence of our home. Our living room is tidy, minimalistic, just the way Lisa likes it. Cream walls, a few abstract paintings, a flat-screen TV that's rarely on, and large windows that overlook our suburban street. It's comfortable, serene even, but tonight, the calm feels more like the quiet before a storm. I've always been a straightforward man, living a life as orderly as the files I manage at the bank. Lisa, with her vibrant laugh and ambitious nature, brought excitement into my life. But these days, the spark between us flickers weakly. We talk less. When we do, it's about bills or her work events, which she attends more frequently now. I try not to let the doubt creep in, try not to wonder why her new marketing role demands late nights or weekend trips. But it's tough. There's this nagging feeling in my gut, growing stronger each day, whispering that something isn't right. My phone vibrates, shattering the quiet. I expect Lisa, calling to say she'll be even later than she thought, but the screen shows a number I don't recognize. Curiosity edges out my irritation, and I answer. "Baby, hurry up! Daddy's already waiting for you." A coarse, jovial voice spills out before I can speak. Confusion hits me first, then a cold rush of adrenaline. "What the hell, bastard? Why are you talking like that?" I shoot back, my voice a cocktail of anger and shock. There's a pause on the other end, then a chuckle. "Listen here, cuckold. I call her when I need her, and she agreed to it herself." The voice is mocking, cruel. My hand trembles, the phone nearly slipping. This has to be a mistake, a wrong number. But deep down, the seed of doubt sprouts terror and rage. I slam the phone down, my heart pounding. This isn't just any call. This is a siren in the night, signaling that my life as I know it might be unraveling. I stand abruptly, my drink forgotten, ice melting into the scotch. The room spins slightly, or maybe it's just my mind, unable to settle. Lisa's usual perfume scent lingers in the air, now tainted with the stench of betrayal. My thoughts race, scenarios building like storm clouds. I need to know the truth. My usual caution, my tendency to steer clear of confrontation, evaporates. I'm ready to dig, to confront, to demand answers. Whatever this is, whoever that was, it's just thrown my ordinary life into chaos. Tonight, everything changes. After I hang up the phone, the air in the room feels heavy, thick with a brewing storm of emotions. My mind races, replaying the disturbing call over and over. I'm pacing now, my heart pounding in my chest like a drum, each beat echoing the betrayal I can't quite grasp. Lisa's laughter from last night's dinner rings in my ears, hollow and haunting now. She arrives home sooner than I expect, her keys jingling cheerfully as if mocking my turmoil. The door swings open, and there she is, beautiful as always, but tonight, every smile line, every flicker of her eyes seems sinister. "Hey, love, sorry I'm late. Traffic was a nightmare," she says, her voice light, unaware of the storm inside me. "Who's daddy?" I blurt out, the words sharp, a knife slicing through the pretense. Her smile falters, confusion clouding her features. "What are you talking about?" she replies, her brows knitting together. I confront her with the call, my voice rising with each word. "Your boss called. He said, 'Baby, hurry up. Daddy's already waiting for you.'" "What the hell does that mean, Lisa?" She stares at me, her face a mask of disbelief, then anger. "Is this a joke? Are you spying on me now?" Her defense is fierce, her denial swift. But it doesn't fit. The puzzle pieces are all wrong. "No joke, Lisa. Tell me the truth," I demand, stepping closer. Her eyes dart around, seeking an escape that isn't there. "I don't know what you heard, but it's not what you think. You're being ridiculous," she snaps back, her voice icy. But there's a tremor there, a hint of something unsaid. The night stretches on, the air between us thick with accusations and denials. She continues to deny everything, her stories tangled, her explanations too smooth. My trust in her wavers, then breaks. I decide then and there. I need to know the truth, no matter what it takes. The following days are a blur of suspicion and sleuthing. I start by checking her phone when she's in the shower, but find nothing. She's careful, too careful. My doubts deepen, morph into resolve. I install spy software on her phone, a silent guardian that sends me updates of her calls, texts, and locations. Every piece of data is a potential clue. Every message another step into the dark maze that our marriage has become. She's texting more often, laughing into her phone, her happiness a stark contrast to the growing void between us. One evening, the software alerts me to a deleted text, recovered like a gem from the digital depths. It's from her boss again, more explicit this time, arranging a meeting at a hotel downtown. Make sure you're not followed, it reads. The casual paranoia of the message sends a chill down my spine. I follow her the next day, my heart in my throat as I tail her car from a safe distance. She drives to the hotel, her figure brisk and purposeful as she enters the lobby. I wait, time stretching into eternity until she returns, her makeup slightly smeared, an unmistakable flush to her cheeks. That night, as she sleeps beside me, I lie awake, staring at the ceiling. The bed feels colder, the space between us a chasm filled with secrets and lies. My mind races with the images of her at the hotel, the pieces of the puzzle falling into place with a sickening certainty. As I delve deeper, the threats start. Anonymous calls, vague warnings. Back off, a distorted voice hisses over the phone one night, or you'll regret it. The call traces back to a burner phone, untraceable, leaving me with more questions than answers. But I can't back down now. Each threat, each obstacle only sharpens my need for the truth. The pieces are coming together, forming a picture I can no longer ignore. Lisa's betrayals weave through our life like a poison, and I am compelled to extract it, to confront her and her boss, to reclaim the life I thought we had. The tension builds, each day heavier than the last, each discovery more damning. I am caught in a web of deception, trapped by the woman I once loved, threatened by shadows that lurk just out of sight. But I am determined. I will unearth the truth, no matter the cost. The stakes are too high, and I am too far gone to turn back now. As the days meld into a haze of surveillance and deception, my routine becomes a shadow operation. Every morning I kiss Lisa goodbye, pretending not to notice the careful way she dresses now, her attire more meticulous, her perfume stronger. She leaves and I follow, my car a silent witness trailing hers through the city. The spy software on her phone becomes my lifeline, feeding me snippets of her life away from me. She texts constantly, her messages a mix of mundane updates and secretive exchanges that slice through my trust. I document everything, my home office transforming into a command center, walls papered with photos and notes that map out the lies my life is built upon. One afternoon as I sit in my car, binoculars in hand, I watch her laugh over coffee with a man I recognize as her boss. Their intimacy is palpable, the way she touches his arm, the tilt of her head. Rage and jealousy churn in my gut as I snap photos, the click of the camera shutter like the beat of a war drum. The web of deceit grows as I dig deeper. Not only is Lisa involved, but so are colleagues, friends we've entertained at dinner parties, people smiling in our wedding album. Each discovery is a betrayal, each connection another thread in this tapestry of treachery. One evening I confront one of these friends, cornering him in a dimly lit bar after I overhear him mentioning Lisa. "What do you know about her and her boss?" I demand, my voice low, dangerous. He scoffs, his eyes darting nervously. "Man, you're out of your depth. Just let it go," he sneers. But there's fear there, a crack in his facade. I press on, my presence menacing. Finally he cracks, spilling details of meetings, secret getaways disguised as business trips, a circle of influence and indulgence that Lisa has woven herself into deeply. I record his words, a digital confession that adds weight to my growing case. As the stakes heighten, the threats become more pronounced. My car tires are slashed one night. An anonymous email warns, "Stop now or suffer." But with each threat, my resolve hardens. They think they can scare me off, but they're only fueling my need for vindication. The tension culminates one stormy night. I've tracked Lisa to a luxurious hotel where she's supposed to meet her boss. Instead of confronting them, I set up video surveillance, the lens of the camera cold and unblinking as it records the truth I'm too pained to witness in person. Hours later, I retrieve the footage, my hands trembling as the video plays. There they are, Lisa and her boss, their actions leaving no room for doubt, their intimacy a visual dagger. I sit in the dark, the glow of the screen illuminating my devastation. The next day, I'm reckless, driven by a cocktail of anger and sorrow. I storm into her boss's office, the evidence in hand. "What do you think you're doing with my wife?" My voice booms across the polished wood and glass, the office a stark backdrop to our confrontation. He stands, his expression one of disdain. "She's a grown woman making her own choices." "This isn't the 1950s, John. Get with the program or get out of her life." He sneers, his arrogance incensing me further. Before I can respond, my phone rings. An unknown number again, but this time, the voice is urgent, threatening. "You've gone too far. Back off, or what you love will suffer," it warns. Fear grips me, not for myself, but for Lisa. Despite everything, I can't untangle my protector's instinct from the mess of my feelings. That night, as I lie in bed, the finality of my situation sinks in. There's no turning back. The network of lies is more extensive than just an affair. It's a quagmire of power, manipulation, and risk. I realize that exposing this could unravel more than just my marriage. It could topple careers and lives. But I can't live in the shadows of deceit. I need to expose this, to reclaim some semblance of integrity and control over my life. The next morning, I make calls, set up meetings with lawyers, prepare the evidence for what feels like an impending trial. My marriage, once the cornerstone of my life, now feels like a house of cards, fragile and teetering on the brink of collapse. As I brace for the fallout, I know the coming days will test me, that the climax of my struggle looms near. But there's no turning back. I am committed to this path, driven by a need for truth that outweighs the darkness it brings. The conflict has reached its peak, and I am ready to face whatever comes, armed with the truth as my shield. The day I confront Lisa and her boss is charged with a storm of emotions, the culmination of weeks of tension and suspicion. As I drive to her office, the city blurs past, the familiar streets now pathways to a showdown that feels both terrifying and inevitable. When I arrive, my heart pounds a relentless rhythm, echoing in my ears as I march through the sleek lobby of the building where she works. The receptionist recognizes me, a frown creasing her forehead as she notices my determined stride and the clenched jaw. She says nothing as I press the elevator button, my finger jabbing the panel harder than necessary. The elevator ride to the executive floor is the longest ascent of my life. Each floor dings past, counting down to what I know must be done. The doors slide open with a soft hiss, and I step into the polished expanse of the executive offices. Her boss's secretary looks up, her expression one of practiced neutrality. She knows who I am, the strain behind her smile betraying her awareness of the personal drama invading their professional space. "I need to see him now," I state, my voice brooking no room for objection. She hesitates, then nods, picking up the phone to murmur a warning to her boss. Moments later, I'm directed to his office door, which stands ominously open. As I enter, the sight of him, sitting behind his massive oak desk, stirs a mix of disgust and rage. He looks up, his face a mask of condescension, as if he's preparing to dismiss an underling rather than face a confrontation. He doesn't stand, his casual disrespect evident. Lisa is there too, standing by the window, her posture tense, her face pale. "John, what is this?" she starts, her voice shaky. "I know everything, Lisa." I cut her off, holding up the envelope of photos and messages, the evidence of her betrayal. "And you," I turn to her boss, throwing the envelope onto his desk, the contents spilling out, "are going to pay for what you've done to my marriage." He leans back, his expression changing as he takes in the scattered photos. The undeniable proof. You think you have the right to judge us? He scoffs, finally standing, his height meant to intimidate. This is none of your business. It became my business when you started an affair with my wife. My voice is loud, echoing off the high ceilings, every word laced with betrayal and hurt. The room is thick with tension, the air practically vibrating with the force of our confrontation. Lisa's eyes are wide, tears starting to form, but I can't find any sympathy. How could you? I ask her, the pain in my voice raw. It's not just an affair, John, her boss interjects, his tone suddenly serious. It's bigger than you understand. We're involved in a business deal that— I don't care about your deals, I interrupt, fury cutting through the fog of complexity he tries to weave. You've destroyed my life. At that moment, his phone rings, a shrill tone that slices through the heated words. He glances at it, irritation flashing across his face, then back at us. Ignoring the call, he leans forward, his voice lowering. You're in over your head. Walk away while you can. But I can't walk away. Not anymore. This ends today, I say firmly. I'm taking this to the police. They'll be interested in your business deals too. Once they see the evidence of bribery and corruption tied into your affair. He freezes, the blood draining from his face. Lisa gasps, looking from him to me. John, please, think about what you're doing. This could ruin everything. Everything's already ruined, Lisa, I reply, the finality in my voice closing the door on any reconciliation. With that, I turn and leave. The envelope left behind is a silent testament to the irrevocable changes in our lives. As I walk out, the weight of the impending fallout settles on my shoulders, but there's also a grim sense of purpose. I've crossed a line from which there's no return, driven by a desperate need for truth and justice. As I drive away, the sky breaks open, rain pouring down in sheets, as if the heavens themselves are washing away the filth and deceit. I know the road ahead is fraught with danger and legal battles, but I'm ready to face whatever comes. The truth is my shield, and I will wield it to reclaim my life, no matter the cost. The morning after my showdown with Lisa and her boss, I wake up to a house stripped of warmth, each room echoing the emptiness of my gutted marriage. The evidence laid bare last night has shifted something profound within me. What comes next feels both inevitable and utterly foreign. I sit at the kitchen table, the morning light casting long shadows across the floor, illuminating the silent remnants of Lisa's presence. Her coffee cup, the chair she used to sit in, each detail a sharp reminder of the divide between us now. I'm resolved to push forward, to deal with the legal and emotional fallout, but the weight of the task is daunting. The first step is meeting with my lawyer. I drive to his office, a nondescript building downtown, the city around me buzzing indifferently to my personal crisis. He greets me with a solemn nod, understanding the gravity of the situation without needing to voice it. We've got everything we need to file for divorce and press charges if you decide to go down that route, he advises, laying out the documents, photos, and digital evidence spread across his desk like a dealer's hand in a high-stakes game. It's not just about the divorce, I tell him, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. It's about exposing the corruption, making sure they don't just get away with it. He nods, understanding my need for justice, not just personal, but public. We'll need to prepare for a counterattack. They won't take this lying down, especially given what's at stake for them professionally. The preparation is meticulous. My lawyer outlines the steps we'll take, from filing the initial legal motions to preparing for potential courtroom battles. As we talk, the plan solidifies, and with it, a sense of purpose rebuilds within me. I'm not just a cuckolded husband, I'm a man fighting for his dignity. Meanwhile, the fallout begins to ripple through my social and professional circles. Friends and colleagues who had heard whispers are now confronted with the sordid reality. Their reactions vary. Some offer support, others withdraw, uncomfortable with the drama. It's isolating yet clarifying as I see who truly stands with me. The hardest part is dealing with the betrayal. I return home each evening to a house that feels less like a home and more like a battleground. The memories of our life together, once sweet, now turn bitter in my mind. But there's also a strange relief in knowing the truth, no matter how painful. Lisa tries to reach out, to explain, to salvage whatever fragments of us remain. "John, we can fix this," she pleads over the phone one night, her voice a mixture of desperation and denial. "There's nothing left to fix, Lisa," I reply, the finality in my voice more for my own sake than hers. "It's over." In the following weeks, I throw myself into the legal preparations, meeting with my lawyer, going over statements, and bracing for public scrutiny. The media catches wind of the scandal, especially the corruption angle, and suddenly our private drama is fodder for public consumption. But amid the chaos, there's a growing sense of liberation. Each step forward in the legal process feels like a step away from the past, from a life built on lies. I start to envision a future, one where I'm no longer defined by this betrayal. As the trial date approaches, the tension mounts. We go over our strategy repeatedly, anticipating their defense, countering their moves. It's like a game of chess, each piece critical, each move fraught with potential pitfalls. On the day of the trial, I stand outside the courthouse, taking a deep breath of the crisp morning air. I'm ready to face whatever comes, armed with truth and a clear conscience. The doors loom before me, a threshold to a new chapter. Inside, the courtroom is stark, the air thick with anticipation. Lisa is there, looking small, her eyes avoiding mine. Her boss, alongside his legal team, appears confident, his demeanor still smug. As the proceedings start, the reality of the situation settles in. This isn't just about legal victories, it's about reclaiming my life, standing up against deceit. The opening statements begin, each word echoing through the room, setting the stage for what will surely be a contentious battle. The trial unfolds over days, each testimony, each piece of evidence adding to the narrative of corruption and betrayal. My lawyer is sharp, his questions pointed, unraveling the facade Lisa and her boss had maintained for so long. When it's over, the judge's verdict is almost anticlimactic. Guilty as charged. The words resonate, not just in the courtroom but deep within me. There's vindication, yes, but also a profound exhaustion. The gavel falls, and with it, the final walls of my former life crumble. I walk out of the courthouse, the burden of the past months slightly lighter on my shoulders. The road ahead is uncertain, the scars of the ordeal indelible. Yet there's a forward momentum now, a path leading away from deception towards something new, something wholly mine. As I start my car and drive away, the city seems different, less a maze of memories and more a landscape of possibilities. The crisis has passed, and in its wake, the promise of a new beginning beckons, each mile a step toward a future forged from the ashes of the past. The dust settles in the weeks following the trial, and life finds a new rhythm, slower and more introspective than before. The verdict, while a public declaration of victory, leaves private scars that no courtroom can heal. Now, as the immediate chaos recedes, I find myself grappling with the deeper, more enduring changes that have reshaped my life. I spend long hours at home, the silence no longer oppressive but a canvas for reflection. The house, once shared with Lisa, now bears the marks of my new reality. Pictures of us together have been taken down, leaving pale patches on the walls, ghosts of a shared past that no longer seems real. I consider moving, starting fresh somewhere new, but something holds me back. This is my home, and I will not be driven from it. My friends and family who stood by me through the turmoil now see a different John. The easy confidence that characterized my demeanor has given way to a quieter, more measured presence. Conversations often drift toward the trial and its revelations, but I steer them away, seeking normalcy, not reminders of betrayal. Lisa has reached out, tentative emails that sit unread in my inbox. I'm not ready to face her, not yet, maybe not ever. The wounds are too fresh, the betrayal too deep. Instead, I focus on rebuilding, on healing the parts of me that were broken by her deception. One evening, I meet with a group of friends at a local bar, a place where Lisa and I once frequented. The familiarity of the setting brings a sharp pang of nostalgia, but also a recognition of my own resilience. As we talk, the conversation shifts to my future, to what comes next. "You've been through hell, John," a close friend remarks, clapping me on the back. "But you've come out stronger. What's your next move?" I ponder the question, sipping my drink. I think I'll start by taking that trip to Europe I always talked about, I say, surprising even myself. Travel solo, see the places Lisa and I never visited together. The idea takes root, growing stronger with each passing day. Traveling alone seems like the perfect way to shed the remnants of my old life, to find who I am on my own terms. The planning gives me something to look forward to, a horizon beyond the courtroom and the heartbreak. In the quiet moments, I often find myself at the local park, walking paths I once jogged with Lisa. The exercise clears my mind, the rhythmic pounding of my feet on the pavement, a meditation. Here, amidst the whisper of the trees and the wide expanse of the sky, I feel closer to peace, to some understanding of the turns my life has taken. One afternoon, as autumn leaves rustle underfoot, I realize that the ordeal has not only taken things away, but has also offered something in return, a clarity about what matters most. Integrity, honesty, resilience, qualities that were tested but not defeated. As the season changes, I begin to reconnect with old hobbies and interests that had fallen by the wayside during my marriage. Photography, once a passionate hobby, reemerges as a therapeutic outlet. Through the lens, I capture moments of beauty and transformation, each snapshot a step away from the past. The legal aftermath of the trial still lingers. There are loose ends to tie up, financial arrangements to finalize. But these no longer dominate my days. My lawyer handles the details, allowing me to focus on moving forward. One evening, I attend a community meeting, a gathering of local business owners looking to revitalize the downtown area. As I listen to the plans and ideas, I feel a spark of excitement, of potential involvement. Maybe there's a place for me here, a way to contribute to something bigger than myself, to rebuild not just my life but also my community. As winter approaches, I make plans for the holidays, a time traditionally spent with Lisa. This year I'll host a gathering for friends and family, reclaiming the season for new memories, new traditions. The thought of it brings a genuine smile to my face, the first in what feels like a very long time. Sitting by the fireplace one chilly evening, I reflect on the journey, the pain, the betrayal, the public scrutiny, and how it has reshaped me. I'm not the same man who answered that fateful phone call. I'm someone stronger, more aware of his flaws and his strengths. Looking ahead, I see not a continuation of the past, but the start of something new. Perhaps in time I'll even be ready to open my heart again, to explore new relationships with the wisdom gained from old ones. But for now, I focus on the present, on the rebuilding of a life once broken but slowly mending. As the year ends, I finalize my travel plans, my itinerary, a map of hopes and expectations. The future is uncertain, a narrative yet to be written, but I step into it with open eyes and a heart ready to embrace whatever comes. This chapter of my life, marked by betrayal and legal battles, is closing, and a new one, filled with promise and possibility, is beginning to unfold. The chapter of my life defined by betrayal and tumult is closing, and as I stand in the threshold of a new beginning, the reflections of the past mingle with the aspirations for the future. The story that unfolded over the past months, with its shadows and trials, now seems like a narrative recounted rather than lived, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. My journey through suspicion, revelation, and vindication has not just been about unearthing lies or confronting betrayal. It has been a profound exploration of my own depths, of my capacity to endure and to grow. The trial, though a focal point of conflict, was merely a stage on which the drama of personal transformation played out, pushing me to limits I never imagined I could reach. Now, as I prepare to embark on a long-anticipated solo trip to Europe, a journey I once planned to share with Lisa, I do so not with bitterness, but with a sense of liberation and possibility. Each destination on my itinerary isn't just a place to visit, but a step away from the past, a deliberate stride into renewal. The quiet of the early morning finds me at my desk, the soft glow of the lamp illuminating the map spread before me. My finger traces the routes between cities and across borders, from the bustling streets of Paris to the serene landscapes of Tuscany. Each line, each planned stop, is a stitch in the fabric of a new narrative I'm crafting for myself, one of discovery in self-affirmation. As I pack my bags, I think of the ties I've loosened and those I've strengthened. Friends who stood by me, family who supported me without faltering, have redefined my understanding of loyalty and love. Conversations once filled with tension and whispers of support have evolved into discussions of future projects and shared laughter. The bonds deepened through the trials. Yet there are also the loose ends yet to be tied, the final legal matters with Lisa that await resolution. Our communications, once charged with emotion, are now transactions conducted through lawyers, each email and message a step towards closure. The house, once a shared asset tangled in dispute, will be sold. The proceeds will be divided, a financial epilogue to our shared chapter. Looking ahead, the path is both daunting and exhilarating. The idea of forging new relationships is tinged with a caution born of experience, but also colored by hope. The notion of trust, once shattered, now takes on a new shape, informed by a deeper understanding of my own values and of the red flags I once ignored. The future also hints at new professional endeavors. The exposure of corruption has opened doors to advocacy and speaking engagements, opportunities to turn my ordeal into a platform for change, for educating others on the signs of deceit in personal and professional contexts. This new role, unexpected but embraced, offers a chance to reshape my identity, to be known not just as a man wronged, but as a voice for integrity. As I close the door to my home, the suitcase in hand, a final look back is inevitable. The rooms, stripped of their shared memories, echo with the solitude of my last months here. Yet there's no sorrow in my gaze, only the calm recognition of an essential severance. The drive to the airport is reflective, the city passing by like the scrolling credits of a film, signaling the end of a story but also hinting at the sequel yet to come. The check-in and security processes are mundane but grounding, each step a further removal from the past chaos. Seated at the gate, I pen a few thoughts in my journal, the pages a mix of reflections and anticipations. The words flow easily, the ink a mediator between thought and expression, crafting the narrative of a man who has faced his darkest hour and emerged not unscathed but undeniably stronger. The boarding call breaks my reverie, a gentle summons to the new life that awaits. As I step onto the plane, each step is a tangible movement toward the future, a future I now welcome with open arms. And as the plane ascends, the city receding below, a sense of peace settles over me. The trials are behind, the path ahead uncharted yet inviting. With the horizon wide and possibilities endless, I am ready to explore, to live, to love again, carrying with me the lessons of the past and the hopes for tomorrow. The journey continues, not just across the landscapes of Europe, but within the unexplored territories of my own heart and soul, ready for whatever lies ahead.